We all are Australian here.
Someone saying it's wrong.
Right. How many?
How are you?
Fine. The cricket, does it already start or not yet? Tomorrow. Who going to win? It's the Indian people, Indian public, I think loves cricket, isn't it? Well, right, that's right. So although I myself, see, these such a play, I have no experience, so no interest. But since a large number of people very much enjoy, very much show interest, so people receives a certain sort of happiness, joyfulness. So I appreciate your profession. Thank you. When I was young,
I used to
play
table tennis.
Table tennis, ping pong.
No. Thank you.
So I play. And as a matter of fact, 1954, 55, about 6 months or 5 months, I was in Peking. So on occasion, play ping pong with Zhou Enlai, Chinese Prime Minister. It's my motivation. That's something I think not very good, because you see, Zhou Enlai's hand some problem. So I felt I may win. So bad motivation, isn't it? Like that. And after I reach India, my old place there, Saw Ashram, Saw Ashram. Some kasate, badminton. I do something, but without any rule. So now, last 58 years, India is our home. And then particularly Dharamsala, now 57 years, my home. So on that background, I want to welcome you. Thank you. Thank you. Then, I think I must take this opportunity to share some of my commitment. My number one commitment, promotion of sense of oneness
of 7 billion human beings. Of course, I am Buddhist monk. My daily prayer, we pray entire sentient being. Then, if that prayer, you are sincere or serious, then we have to think on practical level. So in practical level, the other galaxies, we have no connection, just pray. Within this planet. Within this planet, also you see, limitless birds, animals, fish. We cannot do anything, just prayer. Only human being, 7 billion human beings, same human brain and language. So we can do something to change our thinking, try to reduce problem. Many problems which we are facing today are essentially our own creation. Yet, all human beings, all human beings want happy life, do not want suffering. At the same time, many problems which we our own creation. Why? Basic human nature is compassionate. Now, many scientists, through their sort of investigation, they make sort of conclusion. Basic human nature is more compassionate. I saw one sort of picture. As a part of their sort of experiment. One very, very young child, about 5 months old, language not yet developed. To that child, show some sort of cartoon, some picture, cartoon, some sort of movie. Then there you see 2 children, young children, play together and smiling each other. When that picture show that infant child, the child smiling or enjoying. Then another picture, 2 children, negative attitude, one another. That picture show to the child. I saw. Didn't like that picture. And then, more important thing is, according to scientists, after birth, next few weeks, mother's physical touch, the child, is very crucial factor for enlargement of child's brain. Then again, it's a scientific sort of medical sort of expert. They say constant experience of anger, hatred, fear, very bad for our health. Other hand, calm mind, very important for health. So many occasions, our meeting with scientists, we usually describe for healthy body, we need healthy mind. So these shows basic human nature is more compassionate. More compassionate mind automatically brings self-confidence.
inner strength. That reduces fear, anxiety. So anxiety, fear is the source of frustration. Frustration develops anger. Anger brings violence. Isn't it? That's the nature of the law. First, mental level, certain sort of feelings or certain sort of feelings, emotions come. That's something like translate into action. More compassionate, yes. Kasota smile and helping all these things happen. Anger, not smile. Even sometimes anger may bring artificial smile. So I make distinction. Genuine smile, artificial smile, diplomatic smile. So genuine smile, even I think dogs, cats appreciate. Isn't it? Artificial, you have certain sort of motivation, try to catch or something. They know, oh, that smile, not very genuine. Isn't it? So these things, I think motivation, first emotion level, then eventually carry verbal action, physical action. So all these destructive action related with destructive emotion. So the positive action, all related with sincere motivation. So therefore, ultimately, I feel if we now I'm meeting people with different profession or different color, white people, some I think black or yellow, I don't know. So there are differences. And some may be religious-minded, some may be, I think, non-believer. And within religion, some believe this religion, some believe that religion. That's secondary. When we're born, no religion. So we must now, since many problems which you see created by too much emphasis, different color, different faith, different sort of social sort of backgrounds. In India, the caste system, low caste suffer more. Even some well, which the water from that well, using by upper class, the low class people cannot drink from that water. So these, I think, I always is telling when I met some Indian friends or some public meeting, this caste system may be part of Indian tradition. That's outdated. We must change. So spiritual leaders should come out. So in any way, so all these differences, the concept of, strong concept of we and they based on secondary level of differences. So only remedy of that, we must go deeper level. We are same human being. Then, you see, hardly no basis to make a distinction. We are same human being. So, my number one commitment is promotion of sense of oneness of humanity. What do you think? So we human beings, emotionally, mentally, physically, we are same. One time I was in South Africa. So I had the opportunity to visit Soweto. I visited one family. That is soon after Nelson Mandela became president, and the constitution, you see, democratic constitution developed. So in the family, I told them, constitution already changed. You black people, white people, all are equal. But emotionally, you have to think we are same. That's important. Then one black African native told me, we can't sort of catch up with white people. Right? Our brain is inferior. I shocked. I argue. If you go to a brain specialist, any differences of brain due to different color, the doctor never say there's differences. Then furthermore, I argue. Then finally, that person with a long sigh, right, he responded me. Now he convinced we are same. That moment, I feel tremendous relief. At least I changed one individual's mind. The feeling of inferior become now we are same, equal. So that's very important. So I think a certain social system, even religiously, sometimes you see create certain sort of discrimination. And like I think some extent discrimination, male and female. So like that. So therefore, we need special effort constantly to promote sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. So if you agree, then we all have the same responsibility. Wherever you live, meet people, please share this sort of concept. We are same. From one person, each of you have some friend, at least 10 friends. Share these views, sense of commitment, sense of responsibility. We are part of humanity. Humanity happy, individual get maximum benefit. Humanity, too much fear, too much violence, too much division. Individual also feel difficult. So therefore, for our own interest, we have the responsibility to promote harmonious humanity, compassionate humanity, irrespective whether believer or non-believer. And then we are social animal. Any social animal, love is key factor. Love brings together. Anger expel. So as a social animal, we need friendship. Friendship entirely based on trust. Without trust, you cannot develop friendship. Isn't it? Friend of your money, or a friend of yours or as a profession, temporary. The friendship on human level, that remain till our death. So friendship, very much sort of based on trust based on sense of concern of their well-being, their seriously, constantly aware. Then trust comes. So the human compassion, sense of care of others' well-being is, I feel, very important. So please keep in your mind, and whenever you have opportunity, share more people. Then second, my commitment, then I am Buddhist monk. So today's world, one factor divide people is different religious faith. It's very, very unfortunate. All major religious tradition, in spite of different philosophy, different tradition, all carry same message of love, message of compassion, message of forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, self-discipline. All major religious tradition, different, Hinduism, Jainism, Zoroastrianism, Judaism, Christianity, Muslim, Buddhism, all same, all carry same message. We can, we witness like late Mother Teresa, wonderful lady, really dedicated her life serving people, particularly poor people, needy people. So such inner strength come from her own religious faith. Similarly, I have a number of sort of friends from different religious traditions, truly dedicated. They implementing love, compassion. So it is quite unfortunate, unthinkable. The very source of compassion now causing division, causing the killing in Syria, Iraq, and I think Egypt also now some problem between Christian believer and Islam. And one time I have been Northern Ireland, Catholic, Protestant, very negative. In the eyes of Protestant, Catholic is very negative, totally negative. Similarly, other one also. One occasion I was in Northern Ireland. So the committee which I invited, they arranged one place. The family member, both sides, some killed. No? Catholic and Christian, Protestant come. When I entering that room, the one committee member told me, "Oh, you should prepare. These people might shout or some different things may come. So give me some kind of warning." Then I enter that room. Oh, the room, the atmosphere is very cold, tense. Then I start talk, as this my belief, talk. So only different name, but particularly the Catholic and Protestant, all follower of Jesus Christ. All follow Bible. So then, eventually, you see that kasa, atmosphere becoming warmer, warmer, warmer. Then those people, at the beginning, no smile, very serious face. Then gradually some smile come. Then we have lunch together. So then joking, laughing, like that. So mind, emotion, in order to bring fear and remain distance. Only way to cool down that is reach out, friendship, on the basis of belief, sameness of human brothers, sisters. So that's my own experience. So religious harmony is very essential. Conflict, killing in the name of religion is really unfortunate. The only source of compassion, forgiveness, is religion. That real source of these values itself causing division and fighting. So we cannot remain indifferently. We have to work. So now, one question, is it possible, religious harmony? And we can say 1,000 times, yes, yes. Look, India. At least, I think, over 2,000 years. First, before 2,000 years, India, the different Hindus, the Sangha philosophy, and the Charvaka, and then Kasa, Vedanta, and then Jainism, then Buddhism. These are homegrown different traditions, different religions. Then, beside homegrown tradition from outside, firstly, Zoroastrianism from ancient Parsi, Zoroastrianism. In India, the Zoroastrian community live in Bombay. Now, their own original place, no longer any Zoroastrian tradition. Only in India, I think. So the population less than 100,000, but no fear among the millions of Hindus, Muslims, and some Jains. Less than 100,000 population, no fear. They carry their own tradition, some fire puja like that. So that's India's sort of example. 1,000 years, all these different traditions live together. At the intellectual level, some sort of argument like that. It is within Buddhist philosophical, because of the different tradition and different sort of views. Yes, there are a lot of debate. So that's helpful to open our intellectual thinking. Just the same view, then no opportunity to, analyze. Different views, different philosophy give us, analyze. So the possibility of analytical meditation. This philosophy say this philosophy say this. Then analyze. And including now scientific findings. I do that. So therefore, you see, a different tradition, very helpful. Create. Dr. Berry, welcome, my friend. Yes. So therefore, this country, I think over 2,000, almost over 3,000 years, the religious harmony is there. Occasionally some problems. I think sometimes politicians create some problems or use the name different religion, religious faith. Then also I tell him, you see, my Indian friends. Over 1 billion population. There must be some mischievous people there. Otherwise, India no longer human land. So India is human land. Actually, as a matter of fact, most populated democratic country. Very stable. Compare your neighbor, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan. I think India, most sort of peaceful, wonderful. So some individual problem, that's understandable. So therefore, India is living example. Different religious faith can live together. So another sort of commitment is promotion of religious harmony. And then according to Indian tradition, Indian sort of thought, the secularism, so non-believer. So according to Indian sort of understanding, secular means not only respect all religion, but also respect non-believer. Advani, former Deputy Prime Minister, my great friend, once he told me, according to Indian sort of tradition, secular means in ancient time, they are the religious, because of the different philosophical sort of people from different religious tradition usually argue with Charvaka. Charvaka, ancient, materialistic, no value, any spirituality, only this life and nothing, day-to-day life. So argument with that sort of school of thought, but at the same time refer people who hold that view is rishi. Rishi means sage. So this indicates according to Indian sort of because of the sense of secular means respect non-believer. So that I think very relevant to today's world, because today's world, out of 7 billion human beings, over 1 billion are non-believer. So these are our brothers, sisters. We must bring together. So we must respect their personal view. Okay. Anti-God, anti-religion, okay, no problem. Like that. So that second commitment, these my brothers, sisters. If you agree, then please keep in your mind, try to make some commitment and share with more people. Okay. And then as a Tibetan, I have some sort of responsibility. But political matter, since 2001, we already achieved elected political leadership. Then my position is semi-retired position. Then 2011, I totally retired. So now my responsibility is preservation of Tibetan ecology. Many rivers from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, all these major rivers, and also China, like Yellow River, all come from Tibet. So Tibet Plateau is the source of all these major rivers which cover almost whole Asia. So one time the Chinese government also used to pay some attention. There's some important area should not take as a deforestation, like that. but not very effective because of pocket money. So like that. And then preservation of Tibetan culture, Tibetan spirituality. Now I fully convinced Buddhism, which we carry through rigorous study, at least 20, 30 years study, and the way study, the root text, memorize and learn by heart, then commentary, then carry debate, logics, Buddhist logic. See, we, because extensively use logic. So many scholars, age-wise, old, but mind very sharp, because we seriously, extensively study logic. So my own case also, although when I sort of study these things, I'm quite a lazy student, not very sort of not interesting to study these things, but compulsory to study. So sometimes I sort of say, kaza, goda, deceive my teacher. I think we have same sort of experience. I think you also, isn't it? But then later I really find extensive sort of study and use logical sort of approach is immense help to maintain sharpness of our mind. So, in spite old age, 82 years old, but mind very sharp, like that. So therefore, and then language, all these complicated philosophy, Nalanda tradition philosophy, mainly Madhyamika philosophy, and also Chittamantra philosophy. You see, these, I think, in other Buddhist countries, not sort of, not much knowledge. We, over 1,000 years, we kept all this knowledge. 8th century, Nalanda top master Shantarashita invited to Tibet, and he taught us according to Nalanda tradition, extensively study, not just close eye, remember that? No, extensively sort of study, and use maximum way our intelligence. So now, according advice of Master Shantarashita, all these philosophical texts, logical texts, all mainly Sanskrit text, translated into Tibetan. So now today, Tibetan language is the best language to explain these things. So
in the Tibetan tradition, we have this system of debating when students study philosophy. And so the procedure of debate itself is possible in the Tibetan language and not in other languages like Chinese or even English.
Oh. So therefore, I feel the preservation of Tibetan Buddhist knowledge, mainly philosophical knowledge,
no.
And including the language which can explain all these very precisely. This, I think, not only interest for 6 million Tibetan people, but also I think interest for many Buddhists, and even as a scientist. Now, last 30 years, I have serious discussion with scientists. So sometimes I describe myself as a half Buddhist monk, half scientist. So sometimes I do not believe some stories about sort of because I'm a loju,
Yes. Sometimes we have stories which are told, but they're more or less like mixed with legends, so I don't believe them.
For example, I think ancient Indian tradition and some Buddhist text, Nalanda masters writing, like Epitama Koshakarika, and so on, some other sort of textbook, mentioned world is flat. It's in the center, Mount Meru. And sun and moon, the same size, more or less same size, and same level, go like that. So then, after I sort of learned the cosmology of these things, now I'm no longer believe, since many years, I'm no longer sort of believe these things. One occasion, you see, Apollo landed on moon. Actually, some picture come out. And one day, one occasion, I carried that picture to show one Tibetan scholar. Now we human being actually landing on moon. This is the picture. He still refused. He still believed that maybe part of Mount Meru. Like that. So therefore, I'm Buddhist, no longer believe some of these sort of concepts which mentioned in ancient time, some Buddhist sort of scholar in India. No problem. No problem. Genuine Buddhist sort of the practitioner or student of Buddhist philosophy, we must accept the reality, not just old concept. Buddha himself, as he told us, "Oh, my follower," I think that's quite unique. Buddha stated, "Oh, my follower, monks, scholars should not accept my teaching out of faith, out of devotion, but rather thorough investigation and experiment." That's very scientific, isn't it? It's quite unique. So therefore, many Buddhist scholars, Nalanda masters, you see, many Buddhist teaching, they reject it. If you accept that teaching, it goes against reason. As a follower of Nalanda tradition, we must sort of, our view must sort of based on reasons and fact and experiment like that. So preservation of Tibetan Buddhist tradition is originally Indian tradition, Nalanda tradition. So you Indian are actually original owner of these sort of philosophy, these logical sort of knowledge. Because there's where logic's right, knowledge of logic. Now modern Indian, particularly these young girls, young boys, now you too much westernized. Not pay much attention about your own ancestors' knowledge. So please pay more attention. Nowadays, another my commitment is try to revive ancient Indian knowledge to Indian public, especially younger generation. So these are my commitment. Usually I tell when I give opportunity, when I talk to people. So now some questions.
Please raise your hands if you have questions.
some questions, and including some argument. Don't ask any question.
His Holiness.
It's not necessary to ask about cricket.
Cricket.
Don't ask cricket.
My knowledge is even less than 0. Yes.
His Holiness. How important is it to have peace of mind?
Kasa.
Peace of mind.
Already I mentioned, and you yourself experiment. When a day is you met some of your trusted friend and spend some moment or with lunch or a few drink. I think that day is you feel happier, calm. And then one day you see you met someone, usually you feel uncomfortable, then the whole day you feel not very happy. So physically, nothing changed, but mentally makes differences. And then the unhappy day, you see, you may drink more, like that. So then you may start quarrel with your wife. So peace of mind is very, very, very important. I think animal also, you see, they also, you see, also they have no language, but you see, they also loves peace of mind. No immediate disturbances. And they remain like that. But since we have this much sort of sophisticated intelligence, much sophisticated brain, so brain, I think, have the ability to create more disturbances or to create peaceful mind. Animals have no. So since we have this sort of remarkable brain, now you must utilize this brain for further strengthening our basic human value. Now existing our education system not adequate. The so-called modern education is very much oriented about material value. Next question.
His Holiness, do you have any good meditation techniques to fall asleep?
Meditation techniques to fall asleep. Meditation that should be.
That I don't know. I think some indirectly, when your mind peace, then sleep also, you see, automatically or by naturally, you see, come. Your mind much disturbed and too much anxiety, too much sort of anxious, and too much stress and anger, of course. These are very bad for, I think, for sleep. Like that. At the sleeping pill. Just, you see, temporary. One day, 2 days, okay. If you rely on taking sleeping pill, then eventually less effect. Then amount of the pill because of increase. That's very harmful for our body. So relax your mind and go there. Usually, I spend 9 hours sleep very peaceful. Around 6 p.m., sleep. Then 3 a.m., wake up. Then at least 4 hours, some meditation, like that. Now there are some indication. Now memory about name, 名称都是都注意。
Memory for remembering names when it's weak in
Name of person, name of certain text. That now I think last now around I think 2 years. Now there is some indication. Now more and more difficult to remember. But otherwise my brain very sharp, no problem. Next question.
In the spirit of oneness and religious harmony, what are the daily actions that we human beings can take to assist with this?
Kosa. Not very clear. Kosa.
His Holiness spoke about his commitments, a sense of oneness for humanity and religious harmony. As human beings, what actions can we take to help?
We are, as the social animal, we always remain a community. Even one stranger come, you show them sameness of oneness, sameness of human being. Show them at the beginning. Now when I go, see, my practice is when I go to different place, so unknown person, I show smile. I know without any introduction, I know. As soon as one nose, 2 eyes, human face, okay, I always smile. Then most cases, they also smiling at me. So occasionally, some, you say, they inspire my smile. They don't respond, smile. Then if it's close, then sometimes because someone is a loser.
tickle them.
What called?
Tickle.
Or tickle. Then smile come. There's some occasionally, some distance, when I smile. Their response. One occasion in Germany, one function after dark. So I going or coming back, is from that sort of function. On the street, one young German lady coming there. As usual, so I smile. Then that young girl seems to say develop some suspicion. Then like this, a strange dress. So you see, seems to see she gets some suspicion. Instead of smiling or more negative attitude, then I also have the liberty to turn my face. So like that, I think wherever we mix with people, first you show friendly attitude. Then I think 90% they also respond that way. That's way. If you expect something nice from their side, then not very sure. Your side must show generosity because of that respect or love. Then response come. If response not come, then you have freedom. You do some other things. Okay. I feel like that. birds also. I think they love affection when you're feeding them sincerely. Eventually, the bird comes here on your hand and picking or something. I noticed that in Austria, one garden, many people, carry some seeds and remain like this, and some bird come and eating. Very nice. Like that. Now, next question.
Your Holiness, it's nice to meet you. Over the years, through a political point of view, which leader have you enjoyed spending the most time with, or who has the best sense of humour?
Karsa. I think among the spiritual leader, Bishop Tutu, wonderful. Since first meeting, eventually we become a very close friend. So often when we come together, he always teasing me, and he described me mischievous Dalai Lama. And I also respond him mischievous bishop. Wonderful person. Wonderful person. Then, of course, some Indian spiritual leaders. Just a few days, just like 2 days ago, I was in Mathura, near Delhi. Very close friend of mine. One part, great practitioner, sadhu, and then very knowledgeable person, and meantime very practical. So wonderful. So I always call him my spiritual brother. Wonderful. And some Christian. One Kazat, John Maines, the follower, Kasati, Komar.
Father Lawrence Freeman. Lawrence Freeman. Father Lawrence Freeman.
Oh, Father Lawrence Freeman. A wonderful person. Wonderful person. Then among the leaders or politicians, and there are many. First Indian President, Rajendra Prasad. Wonderful. This 1956, I met, and then 1959. Wonderful person. And then, of course, many leaders whom I have opportunity meeting. Then recently was a day, Kasajuti.
Harvard.
Oh, Harvard. Wonderful. Wonderful person. Now no longer. Then Bush. Junior Bush. As a human level, as I mentioned earlier, whenever I meet people, I don't care what is their position. I always look on human level. Then like President Bush, my first meeting in the White House, as usual, some tea, and some cookies. Then I express, which cookie is better? Then he immediately responded, this is better, this is better. He immediately see. So then I felt he really acting like human being. Sometimes leaders, remain a little bit distant. So as a human being, I really love Mr. Bush. So since we become very close friends, so after Iraq war happened, then another occasion, my meeting, I told him, I love you, I respect you, but some of your policy is concerned, I have some reservation. He smiled. Like that. Yes, next.
Your Holiness, the Chinese occupy your country, Tibet, at the moment. What would you say to the Chinese leader if you met him?
I often, you see, when I meet some Chinese retired officials, some businessmen, some professors, you see, occasionally we met. I have the opportunity of meeting such people. Then I always say, telling them, China, people's work with China, most populated nation. And anyway, China is traditionally Buddhist country. So Buddhism is part of your own culture. Now today, the Buddhist population in China, around 400 million Buddhist population. Then they, under the leadership of Communist Party, they should make some effort for promotion of Buddhist psychology or certain Buddhist philosophy. Already there are large number of Buddhists there. And then also, I'm telling them, as far as socio-economic theory is concerned, I am Marxist. What do you think? Reason, you see, when Karl Marx, you see, they are in Europe, the industrialization, now they are coming. So the workers, factory worker, and also people who are mining, I think much sort of suffering, too much exploitation. So he stand these workers because of proletariats. Because of proletariats. So in his economic theory, you see, he emphasizes equal distribution. So that's the seed of socialism. So I'm very much attracted. Marx's theory of economy, equal distribution, and concern about right of working class people. There's majority, there's needy people. So I agree his view, socio-economic theory. So I'm Marxist. But I totally against Leninism. Lenin, during wartime, civil war, so you see, he very much sort of involved wartime mentality, tight control, suppression, mercilessly, and secrecy. So unfortunately, the original Marxism spoiled by Leninism. And then Chairman Mao, and then Stalin, of course, everybody knows. Too much sort of ruthless. Like that. And then Chairman Mao Zedong, I think original leader of Chinese Communist. I think originally, their motivation is, I think, sincere, good. After they establish the government, after they take all power, then I think power spoiled themselves. And also top secrecy, much secrecy. And also I think the leader themselves also do not know what's the reality. So therefore, for example, when Hu Yanpang become the chairman of the party, when he visit different place, before he visit the different place, he sent his own trusted some friend and study at the reality. Then they give him the report. And when he actually reach this place, the officials on the spot, you see, reporting some nice things. Then sometimes he scold, I know reality, don't tell lies. So I think, I often is telling my Chinese friend, so therefore, Communist Party, I think should start work effort for promotion of human value. The Marxism very much related to that, and promotion of also the education about our inner value. So this does not mean against party. Party itself, a follower of Marxist, so Marxism. And now, because due to lack of belief that, so now China, no longer socialist country. One of my great friend, of course, I really admire the late president of one Nobel laureate, late president of Israel, Shimon Peres. Wonderful. His pronunciation of English, a little bit difficult, but his knowledge, remarkable, really remarkable. And in some previous meeting, some Nobel laureate criticized about China, and sometimes he defend because he is socialist, so he has some sympathy towards China. So then almost I think the last meeting, end of one of the later meeting, one occasion we together on lunch. Then I asked him, what is your opinion? Now People's Republic of China is socialist country or not? And he immediately said, no longer socialist country, capitalist, he told me like that. So therefore, you see this, things are being open, the economy, sort of also the liberalization economy. So Deng Xiaoping himself is expressed, so long mice catch, white mouse, or white cat or black cat, no differences. So eventually, a lot of black cat come. So a lot of corruptions and huge gap, rich to poor. Very sad, very sad. I often meeting with Chinese from mainland China. One occasion, against some Chinese, some the teachers, more educated people. Then one villager, very poor, his physical also very poor, his dress also very poor. Then is the meeting room, sitting room. I usually sit one chair here, and then some the more better kasuda. Intellectuals. More sort of scholars or better sort of life. And then the poor villager used to sit there, other side. So then I, as a socialist, I pay more attention towards that poor villager than those more sort of the well-being Chinese. Then I asked, condition, his own village. He told me, in his village, very poor, no one taking care about the farmer's life. The local officials, their only concern is money. Therefore, their position used for money, not taking care about villagers. Like that. This is totally against Marxism. So therefore, in order to revive the genuine Marxism, I think Chinese people need some education. Now, Buddhist concept about altruism, karuna, relevant. So I often use the expressing like that. Then often I'm sort of telling, whenever I meet some Chinese nowadays, they say, I think every week some Chinese from mainland China come to see me. Every week, 15, 20, like that. Whenever you see the Chinese from mainland China come, seeing me, many of them tear. Like that. So therefore, I'm telling you, see, 1.3 billion Chinese people have every right to know the reality. And once 1.3 billion Chinese people knows the reality, they also have the ability to judge what is right, what is wrong. Therefore, censorship is totally wrong. I always telling them that another thing, Chinese judiciary system must sort of
be raised.
Must raised up to international standard of judiciary system. Then those poor Chinese, they have a certain sort of the opportunity to ask using their right. Otherwise, you see, judiciary system controlled by party, and the party individuals only interest is in their own money, their own well-being. So people suffer a lot. I think the Tibetan issue, also I think very much sort of mixed with do not know what the reality. So even top leaders, I think they may not know. So many of the Chinese, when I met in America, Australia also, and different places, when we meet, at the beginning, they remain a little bit sort of
Apprehensive.
Apprehensive.
No. Apprehensive.
They remain a little bit distant. When we talk, we are not seeking independence. We are very much willing to remain within the People's Republic of China. I always say, I always was impressed and admire the spirit of European Union. The member state of the European Union, and through centuries fighting, killing, in the name of sovereignty. Correct,
Sovereignty.
And then after Second World War, I think concerned leader, particularly Adenauer, German president, and de Gaulle, French president, during wartime, arch enemy. But after war, I think on the basis of reconciliation. Recently I was in Poland. Some Polish sort of religious leaders also, you see, very much sort of moved the forgiveness. So in any way, at that time, you see the European Union, because the European continent, you see the concept of reconciliation, then they start the spirit of European Union. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm one of the admirers of the European Union. The spirit of European Union now must start in Latin America and also in Africa. Once the more union
Formed. Union is formed.
Must start in Africa. I think many of these civil war certainly reduce, and war between small states, I think certainly reduce. And then also a lot of starvation in some countries in Africa. I think they spend a lot of money for weapons. Now I little sort of sad. The American president now, you see, spend a budget for defense increasing, and also you see, the president is thinking some nuclear weapon. Of course, his own view. There may be some reasons, I don't know, but looks, and then his sort of slogan, America first. I not agree. America, I really consider the leading nation of European Union, leading nation of free world. After all, America, no matter how big, still part of the world. America now should talk about humanity. So in any way, I'm one of the admirers of European Union. So Tibet case also, why not remain within the People's Republic of China? Provided we should have equal right, we should have full sort of freedom to preserve our own language, our own traditional knowledge, which I mentioned, and special care about environment, and then no problem. Isn't it? That's my view. So when I explain these things, then those Chinese, including some students, then they begin to smile. Because there's some, actually, who told me, when they were inside China, they have very negative sort of image of Dalai Lama. When they actually meet me, some actually expressed to me, big differences, what they heard about you when they were in China, and actually meeting the real person, big differences. So the censorship and create also because of the wrong image. Wrong image. You see, that's, I think, one of the source of the problem. Next question now. Almost done. Okay. Now some picture. Group picture. Come.